in the small, forgotten town of Ravenscroft, nestled between dense, foreboding forests and fog-laden moors, a darkness lingered. It was a place where shadows seemed to dance with malevolence, and the air hung heavy with a sense of impending doom. The locals whispered of a curse that plagued the town for centuries, a curse embodied by the nightmarish creatures that haunted the edges of their collective consciousness, vampires. As legend had it, Ravenscroft was once a thriving community, but its prosperity came at a terrible cost. A coven of vampires, vile and ancient, had claimed the town as its hunting grounds. The townsfolk lived in perpetual fear, their nights marked by the echoing screams of the unfortunate souls who fell victim to the insatiable thirst of the bloodsuckers. One night, under the blood moon's ominous glow, a stranger arrived in Ravenscroft. His name was Victor Blackthorn, a man with a haunted past and a darkness that mirrored the town's own. The locals eyed him with suspicion, yet desperation overcame their reservations. They approached Victor, revealing the town's dark secret and begging for his help. Victor, burdened by his own demons, agreed to face the ancient evil that plagued Ravenscroft. Armed with a battered leather journal, filled with cryptic notes and forbidden knowledge, he set out to uncover the vampire coven's lair. The townsfolk warned him of the treacherous path that led through the haunted forest, where malevolent spirits and grotesque creatures awaited any who dared to trespass. As Victor delved deeper into the foreboding woods, an unnatural stillness settled around him. The trees whispered ominous secrets, and the fog curled around him like icy fingers. Strange, ethereal lights flickered in the distance, tempting him off the path. But Victor pressed on, determined to face the evil that had taken root in Ravenscroft. After what felt like an eternity, Victor stumbled upon an ancient, dilapidated mansion hidden deep within the heart of the forest. Its time-worn walls seemed to ooze malevolence, and the air grew colder with each step he took. He entered cautiously, guided only by the flickering flame of an old lantern. The mansion's halls echoed with the sounds of tortured souls, and Victor could feel the weight of centuries of suffering bearing down on him. As he ventured deeper, he discovered a grotesque tableau, a banquet hall adorned with crimson tapestries and flickering candlelight. In the center, an opulent table was laden with the pale, lifeless bodies of Ravenscroft's missing residents. The vampires emerged from the shadows, their eyes gleaming with unholy hunger. Victor, undeterred, brandished a blade infused with ancient symbols, a weapon crafted to combat the supernatural. The ensuing battle was fierce, the air thick with the stench of death and the grotesque sounds of the undead. In the end, Victor stood victorious, the vampire coven decimated. Yet, as their cursed bodies crumbled to dust, a haunting voice echoed through the mansion, a voice that spoke of an even darker force. An ancient vampire lord who had manipulated the coven like pawns in a sinister game. The townsfolk, grateful for their deliverance, celebrated Victor as a savior. However, he knew that the true evil lingered in the shadows, waiting for the opportune moment to strike. With a heavy heart, Victor vowed to pursue the vampire lord and end the curse that had plagued Ravenscroft for generations. As Victor embarked on his perilous journey, the air in Ravenscroft remained thick with unease. The townsfolk, though grateful, couldn't shake the feeling that the true horror had yet to reveal itself. The eerie whispers in the wind hinted at a darker truth, and a cold chill settled over the town, signaling that the nightmare was far from over. Little did they know that the malevolent vampire lord, ancient and cunning, watched from the shadows, plotting a sinister resurgence. The curse of Ravenscroft persisted, and the darkness that clung to the town seemed to grow stronger, as if fed by the very fear and despair of its inhabitants. The sinister intrigue continued, and the stage was set for a harrowing confrontation between Victor Blackthorn and the ancient evil that loomed over Ravenscroft like a specter from the abyss. Victor Blackthorn's quest led him through treacherous landscapes, haunted by spectral apparitions and supernatural entities. The ancient vampire lord, whose name whispered through the chilling winds, remained elusive, leaving cryptic clues that hinted at a hidden agenda. As Victor deciphered the arcane symbols in his leather-bound journal, he uncovered a dark prophecy foretelling the rise of an unspeakable evil that threatened to plunge the entire region into eternal darkness. Ravenscroft, despite the apparent reprieve, struggled under the weight of an unshakable gloom. The townsfolk, scarred by the recent horrors, could not escape the gnawing fear that the true malevolence still lurked in the shadows. Victor's absence only fueled their anxiety, and rumors circulated that the vampire lord's influence had seeped into the very fabric of the town, twisting reality itself. In his relentless pursuit, Victor encountered enigmatic allies and ancient beings who spoke of an age-old conflict between forces beyond mortal comprehension. Whispers of a forgotten prophecy hinted at a chosen one, a figure destined to either vanquish the encroaching darkness or succumb to its insidious power. Victor, uncertain of his own role in this cosmic struggle, pressed on, driven by a determination that bordered on obsession. Meanwhile, Ravenscroft became a battleground of hidden agendas, a secret society formed by those who had long guarded the town against supernatural threats, emerged from the shadows. Their motives remained shrouded, and as they manipulated the strings behind the scenes, the once tight-knit community found itself torn between trust and suspicion. The townsfolk, haunted by nightmares that blurred the line between reality and the supernatural, began to witness unsettling occurrences. Shadows whispered malevolent secrets, and ghostly apparitions prowled the mist-shrouded streets. The atmosphere thickened with an otherworldly tension, and even those who dared to believe that the worst was behind them could not shake the feeling that Ravenscroft teetered on the brink of an abyss. Victor's journey took him to forgotten crypts, ancient monasteries, and desolate landscapes steeped in forgotten lore. With each revelation, he uncovered fragments of a cosmic puzzle, a puzzle that seemed to transcend time and space. The vampire lord's influence, it appeared, extended far beyond Ravenscroft, reaching into the very fabric of existence itself. As Victor delved deeper into the mystery, he faced trials that tested the limits of his strength, both physical and mental. The line between ally and adversary blurred, and he found himself questioning the true nature of the forces he sought to combat. The vampire lord's machinations, intricately woven into the tapestry of destiny, hinted at a grand design that transcended the mortal realm. Back in Ravenscroft, the townsfolk grappled with an escalating supernatural presence. Cursed relics resurfaced, and malevolent symbols appeared on ancient structures. The secret society, its motives obscured by shadows, grew in influence, drawing unwitting pawns into its intricate web. As the tension reached a fever pitch, the true depth of the town's entanglement with the supernatural became undeniable. The stage was set for a climactic confrontation, where the fates of Victor Blackthorn, the town of Ravenscroft, and the very fabric of reality itself hung in the balance. The ancient vampire lord, poised to unleash an unimaginable horror upon the world, awaited the final act of a cosmic drama that had unfolded for centuries. The intrigue deepened, and the shadows whispered of a revelation that would either shatter the chains of destiny or plunge everything into eternal night. In the heart of Ravenscroft, the final confrontation unfolded in a nightmarish crescendo. Victor Blackthorn, weary and battered from his journey, stood before the ancient vampire lord in a desecrated cathedral, the air thick with an unholy presence. The cosmic forces that had guided his quest now seemed to turn against him, as the prophecy took an unforeseen, dark turn. The vampire lord, a malevolent figure draped in shadows, revealed a twisted truth to Victor. The leather-bound journal he clutched, once thought to be a guide to salvation, was a conduit for the very darkness he sought to eradicate. Each step he took, each revelation he uncovered, had unwittingly played into the hands of the ancient evil. The true prophecy, it seemed, was a malevolent riddle that entwined Victor's fate with the vampire lord's grand design. With a chilling laughter that echoed through the desecrated cathedral, the vampire lord unleashed a cataclysmic force that shattered the boundaries between worlds. Reality itself twisted and contorted, and Ravenscroft became a nightmarish realm where the living and the undead coexisted in perpetual torment. The once thriving town was now a spectral landscape, caught in the eternal grasp of the vampire lord's insidious power. As for Victor Blackthorn, he became an unwitting puppet in the cosmic play, his essence bound to the very darkness he had sought to vanquish. The once heroic figure now served as an eternal sentinel, forever tormented by the consequences of his quest. Ravenscroft, lost in a nightmarish limbo, became a cautionary tale whispered by those who dared to speak of the cursed town. The secret society, its true allegiance revealed to light, thrived in the twisted reality, manipulating the threads of fate to further their own inscrutable goals. The townsfolk, now trapped in a spectral existence, bore witness to the consequences of their desperate plea for salvation. The once haunting shadows that haunted Ravenscroft now danced in mockery, celebrating the town's descent into perpetual darkness. And so, the ancient vampire lord's victory resonated through the realms, a malevolent triumph that echoed through time and space. The cosmic puzzle, once thought to be a path to salvation, had been rearranged into a nightmare of despair and eternal suffering. The once vibrant town of Ravenscroft now stood as a grim testament to the consequences of tampering with forces beyond mortal comprehension. The whispers in the shadows continued, carrying the tale of Ravenscroft's downfall to distant lands. The cosmic drama, now tainted by the malevolent designs of the vampire lord, played out in the shadows, ensnaring unsuspecting souls in a cycle of horror that seemed destined to persist for eternity. The bad ending, a grim culmination of a dark prophecy, left the world forever haunted by the echoes of Ravenscroft's tragic demise.